Welcome Brawlers, I'm the Hermit and our commander today is Balthier and Fran. For 1 generic 1 red and 1 green, we get a legendary human rabbit for 3 with reach. Vehicles you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance and reach. Whenever a vehicle crewed by Balthier and Fran this turn attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, you may pay 1 generic 1 red and 1 green. If you do, after this phase, there is an additional combat phase. I borrowed this deck from Blake, Scholar of Magic. I will post a link in the description if you want to check out his version, but this is mostly the same. The way this deck works is we're gonna have this card, we're gonna have Sell Mill, and we're gonna be trying to eventually get to Push the Limit, which allows us to return every single vehicle from our graveyard to the battlefield. And they get haste and become artifact creatures until end of turn, but also we have to sacrifice them at the beginning of the end step. And because we're gonna be discarding a mill in our vehicles, we are gonna be playing Deity, Rocketeer Engineer. Whenever he enters our attack, choose target artifact in your graveyard. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return the chosen card to the battlefield. We also have Trash for Treasure, Goblin Engineer along the same vein. But we should also look at our vehicles and our other cards that are gonna be crewing them. We have Skysovereign, Consul Flagship, Earth Rumbler. We have Weatherlight. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we may reveal a historic card from among the top 5, and all of the vehicles are historic. We also have Untered Express, Trample, and because bigger, which is attack. We have the Regalia from Final Fantasy. It has haste, and whenever it attacks, we reveal from the top of our library until we reveal a land. We have a couple of other ramp vehicles, Lumbering Worldwagon. When it enters our attack, we search for a basic and put it on play tapped. We have Raider's Car, we have Mobile Homestead. Whenever each of these attack, we look at the top of our library. If it's a land, we may put it on the battlefield tapped. We also have the Golden Argosy. Whenever Golden Argosy attacks, exile creatures that crew it this turn. Return them to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step tapped. So, if we manage to push the limit and get Golden Argosy with it, we then can create with any number of vehicles, and they get exile and return at the beginning of the end step rather than dying. Other vehicles we're gonna be playing are Cultivator's Caravan, Hedge Shredder, Capena Express, Esika's Chariot, Soul Shredder, Reckoner Bankbuster, High-Speed Hoverbike, Wish Good Luck, which makes a vehicle token, as well as Chandra's Spark Hunter. Chandra is actually decent in this deck. She has a static ability to turn a vehicle into a creature until end of turn, and it gains haste. One of the best interactions about our commander is that it gives all of our vehicles vigilance, which means if they are all creatures, at the beginning of our first combat, we can pay the mana, and then all of the vehicles get to attack twice. Since one of the key mechanics of vehicles is crewing them, we're gonna be playing Speedway Fanatic. When it crews a vehicle, it gets haste, Volatile Wanderglyph. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. We also have Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Whenever she crews a vehicle, she becomes tapped, which means we get a treasure, and if we get to 5 treasures, we get to search our library for a vehicle and put it on the battlefield. We have Kona, Rescue Beastie. She has survival. At the beginning of your second main, if Kona is tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. Since the survival mechanic synergizes so well with crewing vehicles, I decided to include Weary Guard and House Cartographer. House Cartographer makes sure we hit our lands, and because of the mail, Weary Guard can get a couple of lands from our graveyard to the field. I also threw in one copy of Rune of Might, which can enchant a vehicle and essentially give it +1/+1 and trample. We have Ivora, Insatiable Error, which whenever she enters or deals combat damage makes a blood token for some extra discards, as well as Inti. Whenever we attack, we may discard a card. If we do, we put a +1 counter on target attacking creature and it gets trample. We have Fear of Missing Out, Bitter Reunion for some extra discard, and eventually we get an additional combat from Fear of Missing Out. We have our pushing case of emergency button in the form of gamble. If we have a graveyard setup, we can gamble for push the limit, or if we need a piece of removal, such Hacker Mech, Skysovereign, or even Lightning Bolt, we can tutor for them. To run the discard and mill, we're gonna be playing Faithless Looting, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Treasure's Insight, and Cash Grab. So that's the deck, but before we get into the games, another shout out to Blake Scholar of Magic. He's trying to get to 500 subscribers, and he's giving away a version of the deck. So if you wanna check out his video and his YouTube channel, I will have the links in the description. Now let's head into the queue. And get some double combats with our vehicles. Sephiroth. Seems to be a great deal of Sephiroth running around these days, which I'm not exactly against, but I am against this hand. This one's better. We're gonna play the tap land because Spire of Industry only makes colored mana if we have artifacts. But it's gonna Thought Seize us. What would I take if I were them? Definitely not Fanatic of Ronas. Okay. So I guess we get Halfling, and next turn we get Kami of Bamboo Groves. Opponent plays a 1-1 and another 1-1. We have the land, so we should play Worldwagon. And next turn I'm considering playing Fanatic of Ronas, well, eternalizing him and getting a Worldwagon in. Opponent is likely to play Sephiroth and sacrifice their Nezumi Linebreaker. If that's their plan, they should attack first. And it seems like that's the way it goes. Okay, we don't have the land here, so, and I'm thinking opponent might have a way to get rid of Fanatic of Ronas. So this mills 4 and this is 4 as well. So we're gonna try to get a land with Cash Grab. Not ideal. So we're gonna discard the bamboo and get land werewolves in. Where did we mill? Oh, Skysovereign. Oh, I didn't realize that can kill Sephiroth, so my bad. Opponent might be considering removing our stuff, that way they're gonna transform Sephiroth. Correspond Witch. And they sacrifice their mercenary token. Black market connections. So we go Cultivator's Caravan, we still have the mana for Balthier. Action. Get a mountain. Hit you to 17 and hit you again. Or maybe you jump block. Okay, opponent takes it. And now, how much do you pay for black market connections? I mean, they can pay a decent amount still because Sephiroth's sacrifice, but they choose to only pay 3. They get their shapeshifter, changing all creature types. They play Rankle, Master of Pranks. And that's gonna be 3 triggers. They sacrifice Teacher Supplier. Oh, Grave Pact would have been awful. They're back to 6 and they're gonna be even higher in life. Opponent plays Malakir Rebirth on their Witch because they're gonna prank us. In the prank we're gonna lose Land Over Elves as well as Mountain. Opponent gets 2 more life. Lose 2 more life, they get to draft a card. But unfortunately, I believe this is the game for us. We can internalize Fanatic of... Well, we should Treasures Insect first. We get a creature back. Or is this... okay. We crew the Caravan. And we crew the Worldwagon as well. Yeah, an opponent can only block 1. And if that wasn't enough, we still had mana to pay for an extra combat, so good game, Sephiroth. You gave us a run for our money. Breya, Ethereum Shaper. Breya is want to play a lot of artifacts and trying to sacrifice 2 to do a variety of things. I will send the card to the yard. Okay, we're going to send the Hoverbike just to have a creature. Well, our vehicle rather. Here we play our Worldwagon. Change the equation. Okay. Now we have a target for Dareti. We play Chandra, Spark Hunter, and we're gonna make a token.
Ooh, check out these wheels. Only direction I know is
combat
forward.
and attack our opponent. Okay, opponent's gonna swords. They should have done this after attacks were declared. Or are they gonna remove the hoverbike as well? Dismember. This is -4/-4. So what should we do? I'm thinking we make a bike and we bring back the Worldwagon. We're gonna get 2 lands out of this deal.
Push it to the limit.
This is -4/-4. So Chandra might get okay just to block with Breya. But opponent needs to realize we have Chandra and Deity, so we have the combo to keep bringing it back. And not only that, next turn we're gonna be able to play Balthier and Fran and get an extra combat. Okay, so opponent gets lost.
This isn't over.
But we can... Okay, we don't have haste on our Worldwagon, but we're gonna be able to bring her back. I think we should play Caravan. And Faithless Looting. I was hoping to use the looting later, or rather, discard the looting to Chandra if we need it, if we had the chance. Discard you. You. Here we play our commander. An explorer. No, let's just attack. We're gonna get Worldwagon back. And yeah, opponent sees what we are doing, so get lost. Really not the ideal removal there. Even Fateful Absence would have given us an artifact, so we could bring the Worldwagon back. So yeah, and also their choice to block with Breya was suspect. Especially because they could also use her ability to give the Worldwagon -4, and that's a little less painful, but that's the way they played it. Good games. Against Marina Vendrell. If I'm not mistaken, it's all about artifacts and to a lesser extent about rooms. When she enters, they get to look at the top cards of the library, top 7, and they get all the enchantments to their hand. So not bad at all. Okay, so here we're gonna see if Rune of Might makes the difference when playing our big vehicles. The good thing about it is it says enchant permanent, and as long as enchanted permanent is a creature, so if our vehicles become a creature, they get trample and +1/+1. And if it's an equipment, then the equipped creature would get them, but that's irrelevant for this deck. Opponent gets a Triumph. And I think they should be playing an enchantment here. Also, we're keeping the lands because now we can discard them to the blood tokens. Dryad of Elysian Grove, so even more ramp. Cavern of Souls on human. As expected. I'm gonna push the limit. Oh, this is crew 4, so I guess that's my bad. Although we can discard here, grow Ibora, and that's enough for our crew. Never mind, never didn't have it. And take action. So if opponent only plays their commander, next turn we get a double attack with Balthier and Fran, since we're already at 6 mana. Terra Magical Adept, so a similar outcome. Opponent gets Imprisoned in the Moon. They have a Birds of Paradise. Actually, I see what's gonna happen. They are gonna block the Worldwagon with Terra. So maybe we should play it instead. I'm gonna crew with you and you. Right, that was a 5 power, and it would be even bigger with the Anthem from France. So yeah, okay, opponents concede either way, and yeah, that's a win. Even though I misplayed that one, forgot about the buff from the rune as well as the buff from Fran. They would need to sack their whole board, or rather just the Dryad and the Terra if they wanted to trade for our Worldwagon. Good games, opponent. The Timeless Artificer. And this is a little bit of a risky keep, but with Magda and Meria, we are gonna be doing some ramping here. Well, it's not actually risky, I just mean we don't have any vehicles, I guess. Magda. I guess if push comes to shove, we have Magda for getting our vehicles again going, I mean. Temple of Abandon. And Fanatic of Ronas. Opponent is gonna scram with their Mace Momentum, I think. Well, they have priority because of my momentum, but I don't know if they're gonna do it here. It seems like they are. So Seed. I think Seed is gonna be about artifact creatures, and maybe they also play the job select cards because they get heroes. And obviously, since their deck is gonna have any number of seeds, we don't know how many our opponent is choosing to play. Ursa Silex. Okay, that is a card we should be aware of. So let's not play into it. We're gonna Faithless Looting here. I think we discard Stomp, and Maria, since our treasures are gonna go away with Silex. That we play our Mech Hanger, and we just getting hit for some damage and cash grab. Hopefully we grab a vehicle here. Opponent's Grice. So we get Hedge Shredder. Let's take the land here. We're gonna be trying to dig for push the limit. Yeah. Discard. No, we discard the vehicles. Like Command Tower. And I guess if we discard Fear of Missing Out to Anguish Recollection, we're gonna be getting a decent chance of a sorcery. Maybe we get a land. Okay, 2 lands. That's not what we wanted to see. Opponent draws with their Tome. And they discard a seed. They use all of their Tome. They get a Scry and they use Ursa Silex. Okay, not the worst. Not the worst position to be in. We have Inti and Fanatic of Runas to rebuild, so they essentially just killed Magda and all of her treasures. But they also made us play more conservatively. Opponent gets Sai Master Copter is online. And yeah, they're gonna be playing it for the Copters, which are gonna become bigger with Seed. They rebuild a creature, artifacts cost less to cast. So what to do here? We are gonna attack here, discard the land. Get another land. Yeah, it has trample opponent because of Inti. Get Balthier and Fran and our land. We need to find some gas here, otherwise we are in serious trouble. And Sai is an artificer, so they get buffed even more. Okay, the Wandering is actually not the worst for us, because we get another turn to look for something with Inti. Discard plus and forest. Until your next step. So we're gonna play Ibora and discard our forest in our opponent's turn. Opponent draws with the Wandering. We play a removal spell. Exile one target creature. Okay, they exile our token. So that's not the worst news. We get a land, another land. That is the worst news. Gonna play Seed, leap of their team. Okay. They don't realize that our commander gives our vehicles reach. So they jump attack without knowing. Gonna go to combat and do the Inti thing. That's a land. One triple blocks. And what do we do here? Because we attack with Ibora. Discard land. Yeah, all those lands really are biting us. One and gets a Solemn Simulacrum, which is a 5/5. And I'm thinking we are losing this one. I guess top decking a way to bring back Skysovereign would kill seed, but yeah, I think it's let's push the limiter boss for us. Is this an artificer? Yeah. So their team goes to 5 and their simulacrum to 6. Opponent attacks with 2. And we draw a first. Yeah, that's the game. Let's let our opponent go to combat. And if they don't go to combat right away, so do you just attack opponent? Okay, yeah. Let's not think about it, opponent. Just so we had no hand, and you choose to look at your hand. So, good games, good games. Turgo Helm Smasher. We have Elves, we have Kami, we have Weatherlight. We are peachy. Now the question is, do we want to look for another land so we can play the Kami? Or... yeah. Or maybe do we want to use the Kami for... okay, never mind. Let's keep the Kami in case we want to get another land. Speedway Fanatic or High-Speed Hoverbike. The Fanatic would only work for Weatherlight, but it's a crew 3, so let's take their land, make hangar. Yeah, I guess our play is gonna be playing the hangar, playing Balthier and Fran, and then playing the Regalia. Surge Hacker Mech. So we have removal for something. Turgo Helm Smasher has indestructible during our opponent's turn, so they could be playing board wipes and trying to use them on their turn while they keep Turgo, but it seems like they are playing Aggro, maybe equipment, but something trying to kill us by punching with something other than Turgo. And it makes sense, I mean, Turgo has 7 power and haste, so he comes in fast and hard. Opponent is seeing something that makes him question whether to keep or not. And they keep. We follow our plan. Regalia. command tower and send Lumbering Worldwagon to the bottom. That one stings a little bit. However, here if things get too crazy from our opponent, we can play Kami, and Kami's gonna crew the Regalia. And we could also have played Search Hacker Mech. That we are gonna get 2 combats from Regalia. Okay, opponent's gonna kill Balthier and Fran. No matter. That's nice interaction. If your commander is a creature and you send it from the jar to the command zone, then you get 1 life from treasures inside. An opponent also kills the Regalia. Okay. Well, they exile it, which is actually relevant for us. One Power Stone. And trash for treasures. So let's play Balthier and Fran and see if we get another land here. We get a Mech Titan Core. Opponent has Surgo mana. And they go for it. We go to 17. But we get rid of Surgo for now. Mobile Homestead, it's gonna hit. And we get a land, nice. We get our opponent down to 8. Chandra, Spark Hunter. So let's see what opponent has here. Okay, they don't go to 8, they jump block. But the nice thing about having vehicles is that not all the rats are gonna kill them if they also kill creatures. So they have to have Ultima or the pile-up one from Ether Drift. They have an Nixilis.
Enough with your petty notions of morality. All that
Sure,
matters
they
is
make a
power.
devil.
Oh, I have a job for you.
And they play Colossal Sword, but little do they know we have Chandra. So it's gonna be GG's.
If this is the competition, my team's got me
Gonna
covered.
crew this right here. We're gonna use Chandra's ability on the homestead.
Out of my way.
And that's gonna be lethal for our opponent. If not here, in our next combat phase. Yeah, this has Menace opponent, so. And finally,
Kick it into high.
lethal. Another land. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Good game, Surgo. Progenitus. 10-10 protection from everything. Can't be reanimated, but it costs double of each color. Okay, this is nice. We're gonna be able to surveil and draw a couple of cards. This is red, okay. Nice. I like the Wonder Glyph here. Rampant growth. So here we are gonna discard Earth Rumbler. And we have Esika's Chariot. Should we discard? Hoverbike. It's okay to discard. And we need a couple more turns, but with the Wonder Glyph we have pretty much ensured that we're gonna play transform the Tunnel Grinder. Opponent plays Summon Path Journey, that's gonna ramp them at the beginning of their end step. Yeah, let's take the land. And we're gonna discard Stomp, so we have all untapped lands. So we have the untapped land rather. And next turn we can play Balthier and Smuggler's Copter. Spectacular pileup. That's bad for us. So we need to step on the gas, as it were. Wrath of God. Vision of Zendikar. So next turn is Progenitus. Means we just need a little bit of extra oomph. Although Progenitus by itself is not game ending for us. He's only at 10-10, so, and we're at full life, so. But maybe they have another Wrath or something of the sort. Now luckily for us, they already used their spectacular pileup. And yeah, it seems like they're gonna bring to light another Wrath. Maybe for Ultima, that would kill our artifacts. Oh, but they used only 4 colors. Supreme Verdict. And even more ramp. Maybe their win condition is getting the gods with the World Tree. Oh, we cannot cast our commander here. So we transform, and I guess we played the Weather Lights. And now if we happen to discover into a potential pilot for one of our artifacts or vehicles, that means we get to... yeah, that means we get to lethal next turn. Progenitus and more ramp. They finally get the World Tree, so let's get some discover. Reckoner Bankbuster. Not ideal. Is this lethal? Sorry, not lethal. We would need either one loot or get a historic, which is probably gonna be another vehicle, so let's go with the Copter then. And we discard cash grab. And let's see if our opponent is playing the Gods package, otherwise we get them next turn, so. Okay, that's even more ramp. And yeah, they conceded. So I guess that was lucky for us, they didn't have any gods, which maybe I could have guessed if I saw that they hadn't played any so far. But it's still a good thing to keep in mind. Anyways, good game. Mitotic Ultimus. Alright. Okay, I see it. We have the Boostbuggy on turn 2, and with the House Cartographer we're gonna be able to hero land drops as well as get some treasures. Our opponent is gonna be playing big creatures and eventually get to their biggest creatures, Mitotic Ultimus, which divides into Mitotic Slime, which divides into an ooze, which divides into another smaller ooze. See, they play a 5/5 already, and they might have their commander next turn. Okay, seems like opponent is at 3 lands. And okay, yeah, they're gonna push back for the 4th. Selvala, Heart of the Wild. That's not great for us. However, this might be. We're going to play the Hoverbike during our opponent's upkeep so that Selvala is not gonna be able to generate mana. And that means we don't get an extra combat here. Okay, they block, save some life. We get a land from the survivor, and we're gonna pass. Upkeep, tap Selvala. And that also means we have an attacker, since our opponent might play their commander this turn. Oh, they choose to add the mana. Okay. And they get a land, so didn't waste too much. So what do we do now? We're gonna dredge it inside. Earth Rumbler. That is a nice pickup. So should we... I'm thinking we play Chandra, discard Earth Rumbler. 5, 6... Yeah, and next turn we're gonna have... Push the limit mana.
You need a win, and I'm a winner. All right, team. New plan. Just try to keep up.
Now we don't get the extra combat, but I think we should be fine. We should... Although it all depends on what they play, because now they have 8 mana extra from Selvala. Well, 7, since they need one to activate. So let's see our opponent's turn here. Okay, Boring Clicks, Voice of Hunger. Reclamation Sage, gonna take out our Hoverbike. Issues Hammer Skull. And they go after Chandra.
I can't fail.
I guess this means we have to swing for defenses here. Yeah, Burning Clicks triggers. We get 1 tap. So let's see if this is lethal. I don't think so. But it's really, really close. And they die right after, so... I guess we should... or rather, should we? I guess not. Opponent has all the mana they would need in the world. They attack with 2. And they played Acidic Slam, which is gonna take... I don't know what they would take here. Or Treasure. Let's see if we get something with Faithless Looting. No, that's not it. So I guess we will concede here. Good games, opponent. We almost had it. I should have played it more around the push the limit, and we could have had it if I played the Soul Shredder. Or rather, if we had reanimated it when the things happened. Good games, opponent. Desert Master of the Breach. We have Copter on 2. We don't want the birds here. Or do we? Maybe we do. We play Copter and then next turn we play Meria and play the Copter of Meria. So pair the birds of the Copter of Meria. Play Master Thopteris, so they're gonna have all the chump blockers for our vehicles. They start with 1 and just 1. Okay. So let's play our land. Esika's Chariot. And yeah, as expected, a counter spell. Should we drum some more or loot? Let's play the Fanatic here. Maria shouldn't attack, they're gonna block with Sai. Okay, so if our opponent plays Deseret here, that's not the way to play it, I think.
Do not cross me.
Unless you have another artifact for free. Seems like that's not the case. So we go like this. We crew you. Okay. Deseret, we're gonna pay for Fran's ability here. To a card, and we discard Oxophagonas, no Golden Argosy. We get another combat, another loot, and we kill Deseret. Push the limit. So we discard Hedge Shredder.
You think this fight mattered?
Now we're gonna have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gonna place Staff of Completion and Mirror Enforcer, which nets them another 2 chump blockers. So if we do this, we have. So this, we don't have enough mana either. Okay, we can push the limit. And we're gonna crew. Huh, should we play Radha as well? No, we should crew with Balthier and Fran. Attack with all. Make another cut. Get an extra combat. Win 2 cards. Huh. Does this work? We're gonna discard Faithless Looting, and if we get to our next combat, we might be able to save Esika's Chariot as well as Hedge Shredder by crewing Golden Argosy with them. And it's gonna activate Sai, I think. Okay. Draw a card. Here we crew. I didn't mean to do that. I guess we're gonna lose Marina. Okay, opponent doesn't block. Yeah, it seems like opponents wanted to dig a little bit with their stuff, but they didn't find what they needed. So I guess that's a win for Push the Limit. Good game, opponent.